I thought I was doing the right thing. It was 1 in the morning. I was alone, and a woman asked me for help. If I'd driven away instead, I wouldn't still remember the sound her head made when it hit my windshield. This happened in the fall of 1993. I was 20 years old, not yet in college, working nights at a plastics factory in a small industrial town. I worked in material prep, a job that meant lifting, hauling, loading, and cleaning until your hands felt permanently bruised. I was the only woman in the department. At first, the guys didn't think I'd last a week, but I did. And then I lasted longer than most of them. By the end of that year, I was stronger than I'd ever been in my life. Physically, at least. Emotionally, not so much. A few weeks earlier, I'd finally left my boyfriend. He was an alcoholic, verbally abusive, emotionally cruel, physically violent when the mood struck him. Leaving him felt like ripping myself out of quicksand. Exhausting, terrifying, necessary. That detail matters, because I don't think this story would have happened if I hadn't already been living in survival mode. It was about 1:30 in the morning when my shift ended. I was exhausted, dirty, running on caffeine and muscle memory, and my car was nearly out of gas. So I stopped at a local gas station just outside town, one of those places that feels abandoned at night, even when it's open. Fluorescent lights buzzing, empty parking lot, a payphone bolted to the wall like a relic. I was halfway through pumping gas when she approached me. She looked about my age, neat, well-dressed, not drunk, not high, just scared. Her hands were shaking when she spoke. She told me she'd had a fight with her boyfriend and walked to the gas station to call a friend. On the way there, a car had slowed beside her, men inside, catcalling, threats. Without pointing directly, she tilted her head toward the far edge of the lot. By the dumpsters, I saw the car immediately, a large, pale green sedan, something like a Cadillac or a Lincoln. The windows were dark. There were at least 2, maybe 3, shadowy figures inside. The engine was running. She said they were watching her, waiting, that she didn't feel safe standing alone at the phone. She asked if I could give her a ride home. I didn't hesitate. That's the part that still bothers me. I didn't ask questions, didn't think it through, didn't trust the quiet alarm in the back of my head. I just finished pumping gas, told her to get in, and pulled out fast. The roads were nearly empty. I asked her where she lived. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she kept twisting around in her seat, staring out the rear window. I told her to put her seatbelt on. She ignored me. I assumed she was just shaken. A few blocks later, her behavior changed. She started looking around my car, not behind us, inside. Her eyes darted to the floor, the dash, the back seat. Then she asked, casually at first, "Where's your purse?" I didn't respond. "Where's your bag?" she asked again, louder this time. "I need money. You need to give me some money." My stomach dropped. I remember thinking, this makes no sense. I was driving a beat-up 1985 Chevette, wearing a ripped work t-shirt, jeans, and steel-toed boots. I looked broke because I was broke. Then she twisted around again and started yelling, "There they are! There they are!" Her voice wasn't scared anymore. It was excited. I checked the rearview mirror. The green car was right behind us. Close. She started laughing. Not nervous laughter. Not hysterical laughter. She was cackling, bouncing in her seat, opening the glove box, reaching into the back, telling me in graphic detail what her boys were going to do to me when they caught us. That's when I realized something important. This wasn't a robbery. This was a setup. Up ahead, there was an intersection. Cars were waiting on either side. the light turned yellow. At the same moment, 3 things clicked in my head. I had a box cutter in the driver's side door, something I used at work. She still wasn't wearing a seatbelt. The green car wouldn't make the light. I didn't think. I floored it. I shot through the intersection as the light turned red. In the mirror, I saw cross traffic surge forward, cutting the green car off completely. For the first time, she sounded angry. I slammed on the brakes. She flew forward. Her head hit the dashboard, then the windshield, with a sound I still hear sometimes when it's quiet. When she rebounded back into the seat, I had the box cutter in her face. I was screaming. I don't remember the exact words. I just remember meaning every single one. She panicked, fumbled for the door handle. I shoved her, hit her, pushed her out onto the curb as soon as the door opened. Then I hit the gas. Hard. I didn't stop. I made turns at random, heart pounding, passenger door still swinging open. I was convinced the green car would reappear at any second. After several minutes, I pulled over just long enough to slam the door shut. Then I drove straight to the highway. About 5 minutes later, the adrenaline wore off. That's when the shaking started. I pulled onto the shoulder and just sat there, hands locked around the steering wheel, trying to breathe. Eventually, I drove home. I told my sister everything. She hugged me tight and yelled at me for not going to the police. I've never been so relieved to be yelled at in my life. I don't know what happened to that woman. I don't know who was in that car, but I know this. Some people don't ask for help. They use it as bait.